were coming to me, you saw all these things that, the way I looked, the way I dressed. You want, I don't understand. You saw me like this. You made me like this. Now you want to change me. I thought when you were coming to me, you saw what I was and you accepted me the way I was. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Elsie and you're on Essentials with Elsie. So here I talk about lifestyle, business, marriages and faith. So if you're interested in these things, please subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure you also tick on that notification bell to make sure you get notified every time I post a video. So today, it's going to be a very interesting topic. It's going to be a very interesting talk. I've always wanted to do this, but I didn't know the right time. So yeah, let's dive into it. I had to take some tea today because what I'm about to dish is hot stuff. I heard that if you drink tea whilst it's hot, it kind of cools you down. So I'm hoping this tea will cool me down, but let's get right into it. Okay, yes, so I'm here to talk about types of men to avoid. Well, this is my opinion. I don't want you to take this as professional help. If you need help with maybe a situation you're in at the moment, you need professional help, you need counseling, please find the right people to help you with this. This is me sharing my opinions and experiences I've had and the lessons I got out of them. So make sure if you really need help, get counseling, get whatever you can to help you out of that situation. But today I'm just going to talk to you. If you're ready to listen, you want to get into a relationship, or you're already in a relationship, or you're about to get married, I just want you to see and understand what type of men you need to avoid. If you want to settle down, if you want to make something out of your relationship, these are the type of men to avoid. So I'm just going to dive into it. The first one to avoid. The first one to avoid is the stingy man. Okay, I know there's this thing, what, gold digger. Guys, there's no relationship or love without giving. Love gives. You can even see with the way God did it. In the Bible says when God loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son. He gave because love gives. That's an expression of love. An expression of love is when someone gives out. So if you're with a guy who's very stingy, doesn't like giving out, or he thinks is take, you're in danger, girl. You gotta run away. I know there's this thing of men saying, oh, no, I want a girl that doesn't need much. I know some girls maybe go overboard asking for things, and some girls just want a guy for money. But every girl, get it from me, every girl needs some guy who can actually do something for them. If it means, okay, if you might give an excuse that maybe I don't have money, but my friend, if you can buy yourself airtime, if you can get on a taxi, or if you don't have a car, if you can get on a taxi, if you can get on a bus, you are a candidate of giving. You are a candidate to giving. You cannot give excuses, because some men don't even know how to buy a sweet for their wives or their girlfriends or their potential girl. At least something. It doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be a Lamborghini. Let him show that he's giving, because you need that kind of a person in your life. Love gives. Love is not stingy, it's not selfish. So if you meet such a guy, run away. The guy that just takes, and never gives. Run away. And some men give excuses. Oh, I don't want a god digger in my life. My friend, sometimes it's just you being stingy. You just don't want to give. So, girls, run away from such guys. Okay, the second one. I'm not gonna take much of your time. You understand what I'm saying? The second one, the bad boy. I don't know what's the obsession with bad boys, girls and bad boys. I mean, there's bad in that boy. Like literally, it's written all over it. Bad boy. You actually know that this person is a bad boy. But I don't know. There's this obsession that women have with bad boys. Maybe because of they kind of show these strong masculine traits in them, like they're tough, they're rude, they're physically aggressive. So you find that maybe when he's with you, he's like the nicest of the guys. He treats you nicely, and he has these romantic words and these flaky things that he does with you. But maybe when he's in public with his friends, he's like the toughest guy among them. He's the one that fights for everybody. You actually feel safe with him because maybe he fights for you. You've seen him fighting. Guys, I don't want to overemphasize this. Run away. That's not a good guy for you. He might look vulnerable with you, look like the things. He's not good for you. I don't want to even explain myself. He's bad. He is bad. But I don't know what's with the obsession, because I remember we had a youth conference. So we were speaking, me and my husband were speaking at the youth conference, and one of the guys in the audience asked, what is this? Why is that girls love bad boys? And that time I didn't even know that girls, I mean, I heard about bad boys, but I didn't even know that, Christian girls actually love bad boys as well. I was like, what? Why would you get yourself in such kind of a relationship and you expect to build a long-lasting commitment with such a person? Think again, girl. Run away from anything that is called bad, please. Anyway, third guy. I'm gonna have a bonus trait. I'm gonna have a bonus character or trait for you to avoid at the end of this video. So stay to the end of this video, because it's going to be, I said 10, but I'm gonna give you 11th one, and I'm gonna give you how to actually find a proper guy, a right guy. I'm gonna give you my own take and my advice. Okay. A third man to avoid in your life is mommy's boy. Okay, don't get me wrong. I understand that boys, men love their mothers. That is fine and well. I mean, that relationship should never be broken. It's mom and the child. But there are some men that can't just let go. They still feel that the need to be at their mom's place, stay with their mom. And they're so dependent on their parents that their parents do everything in their house. The mom even cooks for the boy. And most of the times these boys, I'm not talking about teenagers, I'm not talking about boys that are still pursuing education. I'm talking about a grown man who should be out there hustling, but he's sitting in his mom's house, giving all the excuses why he can't make it, telling you how he tried this and that and didn't work out. I so much believe that people maybe may struggle sometimes and want to go back to your parents and just restart. But you find this guy is always giving excuses of why he's not been making it. He doesn't even make effort to go look for a job for himself. You're the one pushing him to do all those things. You're the one making him see why he needs a job, or he needs to man up, or he needs to start a business. You're the one even starting all these things for him. You're the one pushing him to think big, to have a vision. My friend, avoid such a guy, because you are becoming the mother in the relationship, and that thing is going to just end in disaster. Because what happens, I believe, this is my opinion, some people might have relationships or married to people that they kind of helped out of problems. I don't have a problem with that. If the guy already had a vision, you just needed really some help. But I'm talking about a man that you are trying to help him have a vision. You're trying to help him be ambitious. Avoid such a guy. You just want a man, so you want to build this. Trust me, he's not good for you. because you're going to cry out in your life how you helped this guy and he never appreciated you. Nope, don't do that. Even if it means, if a guy you're dating or you're about to date wants to do something in his life and he needs help, I would rather give him a loan and tell him that you're going to pay me back, just to give him that sense of responsibility. Because most of them, because you are providing for them, you kind of become their mom, and they just feel like they have the right to whatever you are working for. I mean, people might have different opinions about this, but I'm just telling you my opinion. A guy who does not show a sense of responsibility, still staying at home, still depending on his mother and father to provide for him, yet he's a grown man, he's supposed to be hustling, he's supposed to be out there trying to do something, make something work, that guy is not good for you. What will eventually happen is, when you now polish him up, he becomes the man that you think he should be. He will look at you as his mom. And the problem is, I think with women, we kind of have this controlling nature in us. I mean, it's there, we can't deny it. It's there because I feel like God kind of gave us a responsibility. The Bible says we are helpers. I mean, everyone might has their own opinion on that, but I take from the word of God. The Bible says we are helpers. So we're kind of managers. Like, if someone who's waiting to help someone who's in trouble, most of the times we kind of I'm gonna say this word. You cannot get help from someone who's weaker or someone who doesn't know better. So most of the times we have that nature in us to want to control, to show this person how to do stuff. So we find ourselves, mothering the guy instead of helping him out, instead of letting him be the man that he needs to be. He has to hustle, find his way out of his problems. Don't be a mother. You're going to regret it. Because when he realizes that you're kind of a mom in the relationship, he's gonna go find a woman. He's gonna go find a partner that he will feel like a man with. So just putting it out there, this is my opinion. Some of you might have different opinions, but that's what I'm telling you. I have seen it. I've seen men that, a woman worked to help them out of whatever they were in, but they didn't appreciate them by going around cheating on the same woman that helped him out of it. So to them, it's not like they look at you as a partner, they're looking at you as their mom, so they can actually go find a girl. I mean, mom helped me, so you get what I mean. So anyway, that is just my opinion. I stayed on that point for a very long time because I feel like it's very important that I made my point understood, because I know some people might be thinking, no, but that doesn't mean you can't date a guy who's struggling. No, that's not what I mean. But you gotta know, you gotta differentiate a child, a man who's still a child, and a man who's struggling, but he really he's willing to make it. He's willing to put in the work to get where he's going. And you actually found him maybe working on his dream. I mean, such men are fine. But I feel like sometimes we fail to differentiate this two. If you're pushing a guy to dream, he's not the right guy. He's not. Okay, so the fourth guy to avoid is the liar. The liar. You don't need a liar in your life. You don't. So I know we get crowded sometimes when we're in love. We kind of get crowded with love. We fail to see the red flags that the person is showing you. It's unfortunate that this happens a lot, that you were so much in love that you could not see these things. I like what Pastor, is it Reverend Funke Felix Adejumo, yes. She said something that I really like. Said marriage, okay, love is blind, but marriage is the eye opener. Most of the times, people realize things when they're married already. They're already married, and then they start to realize the kind of person that they got married, because they were so blinded by love. So love, love has ability to cover things. You can overlook things that the person is doing. These are red flags, but you have that ability you fail to see all these things when you have so much love for the person. You make excuses for them when they do certain things. You don't want to use your head to actually think that this is not the right thing. So some people, you'd find that they will even lie in front of you. They receive a call, they will lie about whatever the person is asking them. They're just liars, and you kind of give excuses for them, for their lying, or maybe because this or that. If you see a man who is willing and can easily lie in your face, can easily lie on the phone with you there, he's so comfortable, it's so easy for him, he's so, like, it's part of him, he doesn't even struggle with it. After lying, he won't even show remorse for his action. That's a man to run away from. Run away. Oh, he's on the phone, you'll be like, oh, so where are you? No, I'm home. But he's with you. Girl, what are you doing, such a man? If a man, don't ever give excuses for a liar. A liar is a liar. If he can lie to other people, he will lie to you. And where there are lies, there's no trust. And where there's no trust, how can you love without trust? How can you claim you love this person without trust? You will never be happy with such a person. A liar, run away. They make excuses all the times. They stand you up when you have appointments and promises he makes to you, he never keeps them. Run, girl. Okay, another thing. This is the fifth thing that I want to talk about is Mr. Perfect. The fifth thing that I want to talk about is Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect. Okay, I think he's also called a narcissist, if that's the right word to say it. Stay away from a narcissist. Stay away. How do you know someone is a narcissist? They are so obsessed with being perfect. They want to look good in front of people. They want to look a certain way. They're so obsessed with looking good and these feelings of self-importance. They think they're the most important person in the world. They think they can never do anything wrong. You can never correct them. What they say is right. What you say does not count. Run away from that guy. Run away. Because I believe relationships or a relationship is a partnership between two people. You both have a say. You both contribute to the relationship. It has to be a two-way thing. It's a two-way stream. There's no two ways about it. If you find a guy who thinks he knows better than you, better than everybody in the world, he's the most correct person on earth, he thinks he has this image that he always wants to protect, run away from that guy. When you make a mistake, he makes a big deal out of it. It's just a simple mistake. I mean, you can talk about it like he will make a big. Don't stay with that. You will never be happy with such a guy. He's so obsessive. You don't need such a guy in your life. He wants you to be perfect. He wants what he says to go. You've understood what I meant. If you want to understand the traits of a narcissist, you can actually go online. I think there's so many places that you can actually find that write about what traits a narcissist has that you can look out for to avoid getting trapped in relationships. Because most of the times, people, like I'm saying, people just say, oh, maybe because he loves me, that's why he's doing that. No, he hit me because he loves me. He doesn't like what I did. Ooh. Okay, I've warned you. Don't ever give excuses for any bad behavior of a guy in a relationship. It's bad. Call it what it is and move on with your life. Okay. So we've talked about 5 things, isn't it? 5 things, and we are still going. We have 5 more things to talk about. So another thing that you have to stay away from. This is the sixth thing. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, Another thing is that I think it's quite similar to that Mr. Perfect one that I've talked about, is the controlling guy. Have you ever dated a guy who wants to detect what you dress, where you go, who you chat with, how you go there, what time you're supposed to be home? Oh my word, you're not my dad. Oh, okay, let me stop that. Don't let a guy be a dad in your life. Your dad is your dad. Let him be there. He's not your dad. Some guys just can't stand. Like, they're so paranoid. They think maybe if you dress like this, if you look too good, you're going to get another guy, or another guy, other guys will look at you. Oh, you can't dress like that. You can't come. Why are you coming home late? Or he's so controlling. He's so controlling that, you know, he can even tell you what to eat and what not to eat. I know, I know that's extreme, but yeah, I've had friends or some people that, you know, would just talk about meeting such people who want to know what time they got home. What, you know, you're just in a relationship, you're staying on it. I mean, you gotta trust me. But if you're paranoid and thinking, oh, if I put makeup, if I look good, then another guy's gonna look at me. That they give excuses like, oh, me, I like a girl to look like this. But when you were coming to me, you saw all these things that, you know, the way I looked, the way I dressed. You want, I don't understand. You saw me like this. You made me like this. Now you want to change me. I thought when you were coming to me, you saw what I was and you accepted me the way I was. It's not like I'm saying you shouldn't take advice from your man, or you shouldn't take advice. I mean, there's some good advice that your man can give you and say, okay, maybe out of love. And you actually know when it's out of love, you actually know. When it's just a guy who likes controlling you, you will also know. So, you know, there's some advice that the guy can give you that are really good for you, and you actually see the sense out of them. But there's some things that are just too much. He cannot be tracking you. Some people even put a tracker in your phone. Yeah, they track every step that you make. They track who you talk to. They have these apps if in your phone that you don't even know. Once you find out, leave such a guy. No, don't stay. He is not good for you. So yes, you found me like this, you've loved me like this. If you're gonna give me advice, let it be advice out of love, and you will feel it. Like I said, you will feel it that this is out of love, not out of jealous. Because if it's driven by jealous, yeah, that's a very bad relationship. If you let it go on, one day it might do something to you that you regret. You might not even be here to regret that. So stay away from such a guy. Controlling guys. Okay, another guy you have to avoid. A guy that's just coming out of a relationship. You know what I'm talking about. So there are these guys that just broke up with their woman. They're depressed. They're not well, and then they meet you. They even tell you about the relationship that they had, that they've just come out of. I understand if maybe someone has moved on for a very long time and they're trying to find a new partner and they just tell you about their story. That's fine. But there's some guys that just got out of a relationship, like it's not even a week yet, or it's not even 2 weeks yet. They're already on to another woman. That's a red flag. Don't go with a guy, no matter how good looking, no matter how much money he has, no matter how good he looks, like he ticks all your boxes. Give yourself time. If there's a guy who just came out of a relationship, he might just be a rebound. And if the woman decides he's gonna take him back, he's to forgive him, because you don't know why they broke up. It might just be she was hurt because he cheated. What if she was hurt because he did something to her and she decided to break up with him, and he's in this mode, and because he's so needy, he needs companionship, he feels he's heartbroken, he's depressed. You might just be a rebound that he will, just take all his emotions on, and you're going to be on the receiving end helping him out, and once he's done, he's gonna look at you for who you are. Man, to avoid the potential. Okay, the potential. What do I mean when I say the potential? Don't get me wrong, guys. I believe that you can meet a guy who doesn't have much in life, but you can see that they are striving to be something, because everyone has to be progressive. I mean, you have to be progressive in life. We must all progress. So I know you might meet a guy who is pushing for his dream in the future and stuff, but don't marry the future. Marry the guy you're meeting now. Marry the one you're seeing now. Because what if that potential never gets realized? What if that dream never really comes true? What if he misunderstood what he really has to be in life and he has to be something else? You have to look at this person and love them regardless. So even if he won't be able to achieve what he wanted to achieve, you are still going to stand with him and love him. So don't marry the future guy that you think is the potential guy that's coming out of him. Marry the person you're seeing now. What is it about him that you like? What is it about him that attracted you to him? And is it worth fighting for and living with him for, standing with him for? Don't marry the future guy, because if the future guy doesn't come, you will be so unhappy, because you will be failing to enjoy the present moment, because you're always looking out. You're always looking at what the future is gonna bring. You're always looking forward to the kind of person he's gonna be in the future. Girl, if you wanna be happy with the person you've met today. Be happy with them the way they are. Accept them the way they are. If they have a dream and ambitions, support them, but do not look forward to that, because if it takes 20 years, you might jump off that boat, in the 10 years to come, because you feel he's not really getting there. So if anything, don't marry a potential, marry the person you're looking at. I actually like this point. I got it from one of the people that I know. She has a YouTube channel and she talked about this, and I was like, oh wow, I never saw it that way. Because I remember growing up thinking, oh okay, my guy, if he has dreams, I don't mind. If he doesn't have nothing, well, you shouldn't. If you don't mind, that's okay. But if you think he's gonna be a millionaire one day and he doesn't become that, you will be so unhappy, because you're failing to enjoy the present moment, what is there pleasantly, regardless of the future. And when the future comes, if money comes, if he becomes a millionaire, hallelujah. But you would have already had your moments with him before you even met it. So don't marry a potential guy, marry the now guy, the one you've met. If he has potential. I think that is very crucial, and it's the 9th thing. So we're about to finish. I have 2 more things to come, but the 9th thing is this: a married guy. Don't date a married guy. I don't know what the thrill is, or is it about money? If you're a proper girl, you will not go with a married man. But I know some girls that were proper. Maybe I thought so. I thought they were proper church going girls, and they find themselves in relationship with married men. So sometimes you meet this guy, he lies to you that he's single. You start with a relationship with him, you invest your emotions in him, and then you find out later that he's married. Run away. Why stay with such a guy? So you find that some girls, some women still want to stay with this guy, hoping that he's gonna divorce his wife. And then when you find out, he starts telling you about all these funny excuses that men give of how he's in the plan of he's planning to divorce his wife. So that's why I didn't want to tell you about it, because he's just gonna do away with that part. So, all this nonsense that men say to you when you find out that they're married. Or some women actually know that this person is married, but they bring all these problems that they have in their marriage to you, telling you how things are not working with their partner, and how you're just going to compliment them, how you're so much better than their wife. girl, 199%, he's lying. Maybe 100%. Some people got married to other people's husbands. Well, I hope you're happy. Okay, I'm not saying that. Okay, let me stop. But 99% of the time, he just wants to get into your, you know what I mean. He just wants to sleep with you. So don't believe a married guy. A married guy telling you, hey, I'm gonna leave my wife, I'll get married to you. Like I said, maybe 1% they're able to do that. And I actually don't believe in that kind of a relationship where you go with a guy who was married and you take him away from his family. I don't believe you will ever be happy for the rest of your life knowing that you did this. If you are happy, then I'm so surprised what kind of person you are. But I don't think anyone should be comfortable to take away a father from his children and his wife just because she wants to be loved. Well, anyway, that's a topic for another day. But all I'm saying to you is, if you meet a married guy, run, girl. He just wants to get inside in your... He just wants to sleep with you. I don't want to say much about that. He just wants to sleep with you. He just wants to take you to bed, and once he's done, you might just be his side chick for the rest of your life. I mean, not your life, of course. Maybe you might not be his side chick for the rest of... But he will just keep you like that. He would keep telling you these lies that he's divorcing his wife. I know people that were dating married men and they were giving excuses like, oh, my wife doesn't do this for me, doesn't do that for me. So these girls believed that, well, this man is not happy in his relationship. My friend, that's a lie to get you into the place that they want you to be in. It's a way of controlling you, telling you about how they feel, their emotions, about how their family, about how their wife is so bad, and blah, blah, blah. Trust me, they go back home, they laugh with their wives, they're cheating on them, they just want something on the side. You don't want to be that. You cannot. You're worth more than being a side chick. You're worth more than that. So, girl, if you meet a married guy, and let me talk about as well, not just married men. Oh, the other guy that is quite similar to the married guy is the guy with a girl in his life already. Yeah, I don't know what happens. Like, girls like just how do I even explain this? This guy came to you. He even told you that he has a girlfriend in his life, but you continue to entertain him in your life, hoping that he's gonna break up with his girlfriend and be with you. Stay away from such a guy. If a guy can come to you whilst dating another woman and be flirting with you, he can do the same to you if he starts dating you. He can do it. He has that potential. He does not have respect for himself. He doesn't honor his life. He lacks self-respect and self-discipline. Because the guy is telling you he has a girlfriend so that you know that if you're going to get into something with him, you're not going to be the main man, the main woman in his life. You are going to be the side dish. It's out there for you, and you still stick around thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna do maybe nice things, I'm gonna do this and that better than his girl, I'm gonna do the ABCD better than his girl, and he's gonna leave his girl for me. Most of the times when a man tells you about his girlfriend, he's clearly telling you that there's someone in my life, I just want someone to play with. He's serious about his girlfriend, he just wants to play with you. I believe if it's a proper guy, he'll break up with that girl, give himself some time, look for a new girl and go with. If you are messing around with a guy that already has a woman in his life, you're just cooking yourself up some trouble. Not that the girl is gonna fight you when she finds out, no. You are in so much trouble with that guy because that guy is bad news. Some girls believe, or if I maybe sleep with him, he's gonna stick around, he's gonna see that I'm better. Girl, you're lying to yourself. I know a lot of girls that sleep with boys, with men, that they knew that this guy has a girlfriend. And he didn't say, sometimes he might lie to you that they're fighting, but Sometimes he will not even talk about her with you. He avoids talking about that topic with you when he's with you. But you still stick around with this guy. You sleep with him. You do all sorts of things with him. You invest your emotions, and then that day, I don't understand. Do you know that there are times even some girls stay with that guy until he gets married? Like he gets engaged, and you are still the side chick. You hear that he's engaged. You still believe that he's gonna leave her for you, and then later on, you hear they're getting married. You're still in denial that this guy wanted to just play with you. So I've seen a lot of girls that have been played by men that already had girls, and they will actually tell you that, but I told you that I had a girlfriend. They didn't tell you I want to play with you, but it was clear that's what they wanted to do with you. Maybe it's different from a guy who lies that there's a girl. You might not have known, but some of you actually know there's a girl somewhere, but you still continue with this person. He still continue lying to your face, and he never even says I love you ever. All he wants to do is to play with you, and after he's done, he dumps you. He goes on to marry the girl of his dream. Guys, stay away from such men. If a guy clearly tells you from the beginning that there's a girl in his life, pack and go. The 10th thing, and I'm gonna give you then the 11th, which is the bonus, so stay tuned. The 10th thing that the 10th tip of a man, the 10th tip of a man to avoid, the 10th, it's not the final, I've just taken out few. The 10th thing is the church boy. You might be asking me, what do you mean a church boy? Does it mean we don't have to get married in church? No, you don't. Okay, let's define what I mean when I say church boy. There's the church, the church, the body of Christ, right? That's the bride of Christ. Christ is coming back to pick her up. That's the holy church of God, the people that receive Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior. But this, the church boy, that one is the church. This is the church boy. I'm talking about denominations. I'm talking about the church that you go to, like we call it church, the place that we go to, the physical gathering that we do. You find that there are lots of men that whenever they want to settle down, they usually want to go to church. I don't know about these days, but I know a long time ago men used to do that. I remember I was laughing one time. There's a guy who started going to church, who used to chat with these crazy boys, bad boys. And when he started going to church, they started laughing, saying, he wants to settle down and blah, blah, blah. And the reason why is because they thought he is going to church because he wants to look for a woman, which is usually true. So if you find someone who's just coming to the church, it's so active, most people get blinded. You fail to see all these things. If they become so close to the pastor, if they're very reliable, they run around, they look like the ideal guy that you should go out with. And most of the times I feel like we fail to look at the person who they are beyond church, because they're so active in the church, they are in ministries, they are very reliable people, and everyone wants to associate with them. They do really well in church, but outside the church they are failing dismally. I'm talking about failing not just career and stuff. I'm talking about even their social life. They don't know how to treat people. I don't know how to put it. They are so active in church. They are very active in church, but outside church, if you meet such a person, they are totally a different person. So most of the times people get blinded looking at this church boy and looking at this church man, with all the things that they show you when they're in church, because everyone is good at church, everyone is perfect at church until they get out. So I'm not saying don't marry a church guy, don't marry a boy from church. What I'm trying to say is, don't marry a guy because he's active in church, he runs around, he's the most reliable guy in the church, he's close to the pastor. It doesn't mean that they are your guy. It doesn't mean they are perfect. It doesn't mean they're meant for you. No. Look at the full package, who the guy is. Sometimes you might be very busy at church, very reliable at church, but he, in his personal life, he's lazy, he doesn't have a vision, doesn't know where he's going. I know boys that used to, when we're in secondary school, they're very active in the ministry, doing all the work of God, but when it comes to school, they never used to study, they never wanted to study. I feel like it's wrong. I mean, we are still on earth. And well, some women might say, okay, I'll take care of him, but trust me, this is my personal opinion as well. I feel there's a reason why you're a woman, he's a man. There's a reason why we have different roles and responsibilities. If you try to take up his roles and responsibilities, you will wear out. You're not designed to do his job. You're designed to do the job you were created for. So do your job, he does his job. You complement each other, you support one another. You can't just let one person do everything. You can't be the man and the woman in the relationship. So that's what I'm saying. But if you feel like that's your choice. Now the last thing, the bonus thing that I want to talk about, and it's very important to me as well, after all is said and done, the one person that I do not believe anybody or you should go ahead and build a long-lasting relationship with is a man that does not fear God. I believe a God-fearing man, born-again Christian, someone who's a believer, understands, or it's automatic in them to... Why am I saying automatic? The Bible says we have the Spirit of God in us. These things like kindness, it doesn't have to make so much effort to live in them. Patience, love, patience, love, long-suffering, humility, gentleness, patience. All these things, he doesn't have to do so much work if he has Christ in him. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to get married, if you are going to find yourself and settle down with a guy, settle down with a guy that fears God. Run away from a guy that doesn't fear God. He does not have the fear of the Lord in him. He doesn't care, because I'm telling you, if you meet such a guy, he can do anything. But if you see, so that was my bonus, a tip, a God-fearing guy, someone who knows God, someone who understands the values of a Christian, who upholds them highly. I've talked about a church boy. There's a church boy who's very busy in the church, and then there's this church boy who is really in a relationship with Jesus. He has that relationship with him. He talks to God every day of his life. He is like a tree planted by the rivers of water. He will never wither, not even in a dry season. Such a guy, I promise you, the guarantee to be happy with him is there. But like I said, it has to be balanced with everything else. It has to be balanced. So stay away from guys that don't fear God, they don't care about God. Stay away from them. Okay, so this was me to you. 10 types of men to avoid. And I am talking about my own opinion. So this is me. This was me to you. These are the 10 type of guys to avoid. This is my opinion. Like I said, this is how I feel. Someone else might feel like maybe some of the things that I said were not right or they were not fair. Well, that's also you. But this is my opinion. If you want a relationship that is long lasting with commitment in it, stay away from these guys. I know maybe there are other tips that other people may give you in addition to this, but like I said in the very end, that if you find yourself a guy who fears God, you're guaranteed that you don't have to. He doesn't have to work on his patience. It's there in him because the Spirit of God is in him. All he needs to do is to walk in the Spirit, and he will not fulfill the desires of the flesh. And if he's not fulfilling the desires of the flesh, he will treat you right. So have a good one. It was really nice having you here. Thank you so much for coming to listen to me again. I do not take it for granted. It was a very beautiful time, and I'm so glad I've shared my thoughts with you. My heart is now light. I was heavy. This had to come out. So, yep. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next time, make sure you subscribe before you go. Please subscribe before you go. Subscribe. What is this now? Okay, bye guys.